All right, back for round 3 and or round 4, I should say. After round 3, perfect shot of OUG because I want to talk about these boys. A 30-point game or 30 kill game, 46-point game. That's what the value is at first place if you were to get those multipliers to lock in the scoreboard. And this right here solidifies, in some cases, I wouldn't say unfortunately because, it is what it is. Doing a singular games performance, and even then 30 points, unfortunately, again, 30 kills is not even the highest value to outpace a whole team's junction within 12 rounds. But it certainly puts them in the top of the board for proposed points when the bi-weekly 2 finals happen. So this gives, OUG such incredible leaps via scoreboards for their enemies or their opponents to actually go up against. Honestly, I say enemies, right? But it's not really much of enemies. It's more just like, oh, you that guy, you the gamers, you're in that team. And in the solos, it's the same ordeal. It's just like these guys really practice. These guys practice every single day, by the way. Like even on days of solos, they practice. So, it kind of comes down towards the game style of that. But let's go ahead and take a look over the scores, or once these pick options come out for the first round selections in just a moment. Now, Morse Isle, it does come with, it does come with some preface in solos, but in trios, doesn't really have much of a difference towards the comp selection. You are going to see 3 comps to be selected, and BBE are opting again to do a out-of-pocket first round pick, because you've seen BBE actually rock a Cannonball as a first round pick before, and I'm like, they're doing an AOT comp this time around when they had a free selection for the Sand Siphon, and they're at 9 points, so it's not really costing them anything if it's a third round selection. But, we're going to have to take a look and see about how that enters into rounds 5 or 6. AOT coming out here for the Wutepper comp, WTP or WTV for JJH, and a Snowball comp coming out from WBG with a Cannonball and then a Sand Siphon being deterred. Well, not deterred, but more points to be consumed for FPX because they chose Sand Siphon as a result. And then we're going to see into the selection pool for the last round a 2 Cannonball, maybe 2 Viper, Tessa, Wuchen. Maybe Visu? Maybe Visu's better, right? The Visu comp. Because V for Viper, SS for, for the Tessa in the middle. And then, woo. I don't know. But that is a third round selection actually for DRG. They're actually consuming a bit of points here for choosing out the Temi Viper, which, the Sand Siphon with the Zipping Ying. So take a look at the skills. The one Snowball comp coming in here from WBG though. Average points 12.3, right? It's still a relatively new comp for the NBPL process to come back into play. But let's take a look and see what the skills and ultimates between the players, because we know WBG has A-Shot running F3, so it's going to be the same case. And everything else seems to be pretty normal. We actually see J-Team okay, J-Team is really opting in to use V1 Weishan for this case. Kind of a dangerous spot, because the Vipers can really just outright propel. It doesn't mean that Vipers don't have an issue with it, because if they were running V1, you would see the case. But it's a defense mitigation on top of the Sand Wisp wall. So maybe it was an oversight to kind of think, oh, there's no Vipers, I don't have to worry about stun. But then Sand Siphon wall, right? Like, so semicircle walls, they'll come out to play to deny your team from escaping. Maybe they can get, I don't know, maybe some value can come out of it. All ultimates coming out from this comp can get out of the circle, but XOY will be the one where it's kind of coming down to being focused on if he doesn't have his mech to be available. And if he's outside the circle already, then that means that Yodohime gets the beacon, and when she uses that, she can get out. So the full offensive pressure that Weishan will actually be able to get done with that comp. We'll see how it kind of alleviates these guys' plays, because it will really turn up the volume if these guys actually have a chance to utilize V1 for Weishan in an offensive position. I don't know. Gonna have to see. But we get an overview of the map. Oh, wow. Bauda, KLA, and if I'm not mistaken, OUG are all opting to spawn at the Moonlit Courtyard to go straight to Breezy Maze. And if not, if they lose their fight, they go through Ephemeros. JJH is already in Aventai Temple, so they're already in the northwest corner. They look to loot up there, but Ephemeros is where the Firefly Cave is in the northern end of Ephemeros, so they'll be able to make their way through that. But like the 3 early game Fireflies off of Breezy Maze with the Moonlit Courtyard as well. It's a nasty spawn, honestly, because like you see this area right here. This, for instance, has a lot of boxes, right? We've seen teams spawn here for gold to get Moonbane early on, but since teams are spawning way out, like there's no teams nearby towards Crow's Nest, there's no teams towards Shadow Jade, super out there, right? They can't really find value for Moonbane in early times unless they make their way towards Celestia immediately, because GG's already in there. XUG is looking to Council Courtyard for those Fireflies. FPX might be making their way through Shadow Jade as a result. We do see DRG making their onslaught through, if I'm not mistaken, Alchemist's Cottage, just south of it, while WBG and 521 are to the Victim's Haven, and BBE are on the Zest Winery as a whole, which means they can get Fireflies making their way down towards Windwhale Gorge. But no, WBG is not in Victim's Haven. They're actually on the roof, on the top of that hilltop, which makes them a direct line of sight towards getting into Moonbane, or getting into the Shipwreck Expanse's cliff size for those Fireflies. And since they are using the snowball comp, right, they're probably going to prioritize using Initial Rage and putting on Justina to get 1 Firefly, and even to Yodohime, just to make sure they can have those offensive ults to be ready. Or if not, Weishan, right, for being ground unit, and he doesn't have to really worry about having a weapon, because when he's in general form, he'll just go ahead and go crazy. Especially in the early game when some teams may not have the best armor out the rip. But game 4 going to begin here, and there's going to be OUG versus KLA off of the Breezy Maze. You know, and it's kind of tough to see 3 teams spawning in the one spot, because if not enough gears to go around between the teammates, and you can see the King finds an immediate Soul Bloom, or immediate Fireflies go right into Ultimate. The funny thing is, though, the King's health bar is at like 2,000. And enemy teams, combatants can try to find out some shots, but they don't have ranged weapons, right? This is beginning spawns, beginning loot. They're looking to try to capitalize on the 17S. So you can see the King is trying to find him, and 17S is just playing footwork pieces with the Saping and keeping himself propelled through blue armor between two of the KLA teammates, while the King still doesn't have ultimate. He's 2 of his blasts. Now he's left on the ground floor. I don't think the King has much to live for here, considering he doesn't have a weapon in his hands. He's procking his F3 shot. I'm not sure if SS is going to drop a weapon for his teammate, but kicks in the ground, going to try to catch Jing Yu, or catch that weapon right there. The katana's been dropped. No weapon, no armor, I should say, on standby. So if he gets parried, it's kind of over. Yaron looks to F1. F3 coming out from Jing Yu. But as it goes out, they rent for a really risky point here. I'm not sure it was intentional early game kills in terms of getting towards Ephemeros for the Fireflies, but KLA had better gear. However, you know, Yaron's in the back end. Peak is low. The King is still in from OUG, still here. Has a chance to pick up the Soul Bloom immediately. Ron finds his Dragon Slayer, kills the King off. Now Bout is the only other opponents here into the midst of the field. Now, obviously, early game Takeda ultimate with a purple spear. That's just it. Like, there's nothing giving Ron or Bauda more pleasure than having that type of loot selection. And you can see CXZ gets caught out here with those staggers coming through for the Fear and Blast. And that's going to be 5 eliminations for Bauda. That's going to be 15k gold for your Ron right here for those for those kills. Honestly, kind of nuts. I'm not seeing any. I wasn't paying attention to the Moonbane purchases, so I'm missing out on that as well. We're gonna look later on and seeing who got them up. BBE is up into the graveyard. We're gonna see double purple armor for BBE. This is crazy stacked gear in the beginning of the early game, and of course, purple katana from Roy Shishi looks for Scale Rush. Remember what I said about J Team, right? They running the V1 Weishan. They have no fear for Vipers, and for Sand Siphon Walls, Cannonballs can just get out of it anyways. If he, I'm not sure if Fat Milk found time to get Rage for his ultimate, but they should have prioritized his ultimate if anything. But I'm not sure how those Firefly situations went. Now, Tesla ultimate denies any one of J Team's enemies to kind of push for another second or so. This gives Rishishi enough time to kind of walk away from this if he can. The V1F is avoided. That's huge. That's massive. Rishishi now looks towards and not even backing off. Uses his lethal jab. Continuously gets the R and Bs. And Fat Milk had that points all along, and for that team to escape off near to the tower after Ben got eliminated. Nice whole take off Roy Shishi, though. Wow. Yo, Roy. You're hungry, bro. You gotta. I think Roy Shishi made the biggest mistake off of BBE's reset here because he himself is at 1200 HP. And Ivan is still resetting. Their Tesla is still backing off. They could have taken a defensive position of regrouping with their teammates by having not so much of a distance closure. Now, after his R&B, I honestly think Roy Shishi felt hungry for a kill because now that there's J-Team, now that Zem has half HP, it's like, oh, we can get this kill. No. Lee actually demeched as well, or deformed himself as a Wei-Shun to get some rage per second back. But not only to that, we still have XLY to kind of worry off with the F3. A Fairy Shen always going to be in the backline. And you can see the moment that F3 comes out from Roy Shishi, he really wanted this kill. Honestly speaking, I don't even think F3 would have kill confirmed here, even with that 500 HP, even with the purple katana. Because I think the most that you can see from that weaponry is that if you have attack jades, you will reach 500. But this is early game. I'm not sure how much attack jades Roy Shishi got, but it was too risky to kind of close gap for a glide, I think, and because of that, he gets punished. Why? F3 shot and R&B readying, and horizontal readying up from Lee as Zem just looks to lock in for an ultimate cast, and I don't know. There's no Wu-Chen port, you know. Roy Shishi goes down. Fat Milk tries to reason with him and try to back off here, and Zem gets the elimination. Ben gets back into here. But WBG makes their rounds for a third party here from the south side, which is interesting. They went from Shipwreck to the Graveyard. So they made their way through Shipwreck from the proposed spawn. And then F3 from Zem actually gives him invulnerability to avoid that freeze. It's really good. However, Fairy Shenmek says no. We still have 3 dashes for Sleepwalker. He's keeping eyes on Zem. I love this point of view position that we have right now for the players because that gives us full value as towards where they're looking and keeping their eyes out. A V3 from Roy Shishi comes out. Now it comes down to where this res is going to be huge value, but Fat Milk gets eliminated. Stagger, a freeze is going to come out. A reset freeze coming out from Sleepwalker. You can see how fast Sleepwalker is keeping eyes to line up a dash for the V1 because it's really all that pressure that comes out. Now, A Shao is down as the Fairy or as the Yodohime. And Fat Milk is still building up rage passively, right? Like he's just making sure he's just ringing around the rosy. F3 to F3 to F3 keep his teammates still alive for Ben. But Ben has ultimate cast. Sleepwalker has F2, gets content over band. Delays his F2 to make sure that if Baiji can get an R&B off, that would be clean. But he gets knocked into the clink into the mid clink, gets content blue focus instead anyways. And he loses all the HP. I don't think there's going to be enough time to kind of catch anything off for a disenchant, but Baiji's left behind. BBE sees a parry off of Baiji. A Shao looks to res here. Big. This is kind of big. Salty res coming out from A Shao that kind of wants a third party, and it looks like BBE's Roy Shishi does the exact same. I think one of these players saw one or the other go into soul form, and they're going to act in response for it. And as A Shao looks to ultimate here, that's what Fat Milk was looking out for, using rage. It kind of came to the benefit for BBE to actually look in for this third party as WBG came through. This is a huge benefit towards BBE actually for being the first team to initiate, lose Roy Shishi, and have a third party engage against J-Team after J-Team's ults are done. All right, Sleepwalker gets eliminated though after a salty res, and WBG go lose out their first fights to actually come out from BBE here. Kind of, it really is up the circumstance that I honestly think J-Team, or I think WBG third party gave more benefit to BBE than what's accredited for those kills. Because when Roy Shishi got eliminated, right? If it was a 2v3 at that point, it was kind of it's kind of a deal breaker right there for BBE. Because you would have seen the 3v3, the 2v3 would have been completely, you know, just like it would have been done. Like it would have been over. Because the moment that the 2v3 would have been done, right, J-Team only had one issue to worry about, and that's only 2 enemies. Like, after catching this kill off of Roy Shishi, all that's left is just taking care of one or the other, right? Even though, like, they looked towards Fat Milk and they were catching through, the fact that WBG shows up here switches the focus as Zem is now forced to use mech. XLY could not focus onto the BBE. That gives enough time for Fat Milk. That gives enough time for Ben to go off and back off and reset. And that's like, you know? right? They get the res off of Roishishi as that continuance happens. That gives them enough time to kind of get back into it. And even though like Sleepwalker finds these freezes off his end, and Roishishi gets eliminated for the second time in a row, Sleepwalker didn't have enough duration for his ultimate to go back into a frame position. That's tough. That really is tough. That's actually really tough for J Team because they were really looking towards eliminating these folks, but with them being intermittent on the Furious Shen and being focused onto the Furious Shen, right? That gives enough time for BBE to go back to Roishishi to test towards a res. Even though he died the first time, he came back for the res as A Shao did the same, and then with that, BBE catches those eliminations really quickly on this. So huge value, massive value for BBE, and all it took was that one third party. It's big time. Shout out to Rishishi. But we do see a fight between GG and XCG. This is towards those boxes areas, making mention to the eastern side. This is actually, no, this is not even that. This is southeast of, I believe this is southeast of, southeast of Shadow Jade Mine, between GG and whatnot. So if that's the case, I mean, like, that's a dangerous position that they're going to find themselves in. But they have a lot of loot in Shadow Jade to kind of work off of. Now, DRG off of Pampy. Pampy has himself to use his V3 for the, for the block or for the burst, but Yin gets caught in the Dragon Slayer, and then off of this end, you're gonna see WFZ gets a kill off Yin. Pampy finds a parry, locks it in towards Moonlight, and it's kind of crazy how that switch came out, to come through here. Where like after this parry comes, like after that F3 from Pampy, right? Like the switch up to the target into Moonlight kind of worked out. It worked out. I mean, it worked out towards his target selection, but it's the V2 that gives WFZ enough time to see his teammate have that to know that he's not going to be in trouble, right? Like even if he had ultimate, I don't even think he would. I don't know. I don't think he would have like initiated that pushback because if he gets that V2 proc, then he's kind of in there. Oh, oops, sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, and then WFZ gets eliminated as a result. Another R&B spam, another R&B spam. And that's going to give DRG their 3 eliminations. Now back to Bauda and JJH. They're looking to kind of engage once. I don't know about Moran, but he does not have ultimate here. V3 comes out here from Yoran or from Shu as it comes out. It looks like that V2 really going to keep them alive a little bit longer. Shu actually looking to try to line of sight, but he has no F ability up. His ult's down now. And even then, we see Jin gets eliminated. Okay, Yoran still has those attacks, but that Phoenix Blast from Godly and a Purple Longsword is just too good to be true. And I think Yoran actually gets eliminated. But then GG shows up here. Like I said, I haven't seen a Moonbane drop at all yet, and I'm not sure who has a Moonbanes. XCG don't have Moonbanes. They're dropping in here from the northern side to try to flank, and they didn't get a chance to actually take full advantage because they know GG has they have gall to come through into this area, but doesn't mean that they know what gear they have, at least not yet. And as GG kind of works their way around this building, Godly looking for those range shots, keep as much poke as possible. But since we still have a minute until Romy Yang here, this is kind of interesting for GG to still be hanging around. Because they have full ultimates, they have full gear, they're set to go here. If they get chased out, it's going to be up to the position of whoever is daring enough to do it. But we do have Romy Yang kind of being spawned here in a minute, so I honestly think if they are going to try to contest that Romy Yang, just burn the resources and everything, and JJH is not going to say no for an answer. And that actually double jump from Shu is actually kind of brilliant, where if he double jumps here, he avoids that pushback that LXM could give his teammates a free blue focus. And Shu gets caught into his whips though. R&B from the pole sword deletes his armor bar, gets a parry, very nice, and a nice Wu-Chen port for Shu. Walks away from the heals though. I mean, he didn't know how far that Wu-Chen port is, and that's just kind of like the understanding about like you're safe. If you say that as a Wu-Chen, so your teammates just don't have a moment of like flipping out of just dodging, because they're anxious to see, they're anxious for a push to happen. If it does happen, then they already dodged, so they're pretty safe from it. But JJH secludes themselves into Shadow Jade Mine. GG They still have no eliminations. They're about to run out of their rebirth, but if this works in their favor, right? We know Wu Chen ult's done. Shu's ultimate's out here. CGS uses F1 preemptively before he enters into his area. There's the V3 proc. We're gonna see Godly get an enchantment cost of LXM 330 gets parried, and CGS takes the blunt force of it. And their V2 proc coming out here, and there is a problem that they were not anticipating for OUG to make their way towards here. I wasn't even sure where OUG spawned after the Breezy Maze fight between DRG. So, or KLA, I should say. So it's kind of like it's kind of a tough point to see how this is, working in now. Now this is working in their favor. Ballista shot. SS has F1 out. Scare rushing. All he needs is one sneeze and he's dead. Not even that. They really can't catch him, huh? Kind of looking nice scare rush stuff from CGS. He could have died from a cannon shot from like a long time ago. F3 shot is confirmed though. CGS looked to line it up, or the King lined it up. But FPX looks towards Romy against XCG, and I think weapon selection is in the favor of either or. Dongqing has a blue fan. He's got level 3 ultimate from what we see here. F1's initiated here. NiHQ looks at F3, does not get caught out here, and NiHQ is playing away Sean, by the way, so F3 for the negative attack. Double captions. But NiHQ, F3, Wei Sean, you know how I feel about it. He does get caught out here for an ultimate to be forced out, and so he finds his way to try to lock down Dongqing. Kakaxi has to get out of this semicircle as a result. Tries to find Dongqing, looks back towards Kakaxi. Kakaxi is now in the back, the water, I should say. He's in the back line behind the Fairy Shen, which gives him enough priority after that F3 was initiated and getting himself right there. There's Dongqing, the RB from the fan, locks down Kakaxi, who does not have ultimate. NiHQ now in ult status. He's been holding it the whole entire time, but losing out against the Yodohime, Kakaxi does not have a chance to actually do much here now. This is where XG kind of gets alleviated from this round, from this Romy. Now, shout out to Water. This is kind of where you have to put the backline pressure onto enemies or opponents, where your backline push is like your backline push really just makes it happen. Where you push the backline and you push that Fairy Shen, you force her to beacon. This is not what she wants. Kakaxi wants that beacon. Kakaxi wants that beacon big time. But when you force the Fairy Shen to use her own beacon for herself, right? At that point, it's tough. Because now that Kakaxi wasn't able to get that beacon to stay safe here, and came to the valley of getting the Fairy Shen out there, but then Kakaxi is easily eliminated off of this end from that whisk throw for the range shots, as you can see. Let's pay attention. He gets caught to that corner, and that whisk throw just keeps him propelled there for those shots to be made. So Dongqing switched it up from Kakaxi straight to Jianan for straight shots, and Jianan doesn't have armor to kind of sustain that, and it's going to be where Water was the last one to kind of come out here. And that all came from the backline push. Pretty good. They win their Romy. They get their gold weapon. Dongqing gonna be able to accrue the purple armor for the team. XLY from J Team finds 17S and finds an elimination off of him. JJH is also sneaky deeking around OUG's position. I'm not sure who else won the Romy because we haven't seen the buffs on the screen. That Phoenix Blast is kind of massive from Godly, and a double blue focus onto Jingyu, and this is no chance if they don't stop it. That's good. There's going to be enough chance for Jingyu to get a full reset. V3, no. No, yeah, V3 for Jingyu. Just locking down Godly, locking down the Tesla, so that way if she does get another enchant, it's not going to be possible. Nice counter, nice position for the armor swap. And a V3 from Shu to actually propel this whole team to stay in here. And if they find SS on a parry patrol, this is going to be big. Even with the 35% mitigation, though, they're going to see a pushback. Godly is still building up rage. A Wu Chen Port of Destiny to save this team from the troubles of a Yodohime and a Wei Shan ultimate. It's really good value. Godly has a cast now. They want to go back in, they can. FPX up against J Team, though. Gold weapons between FPX and J Team. And a Sand Siphon wanted to deny XLY any sort of pressure inside of this building. Lee's an ult. Zem is not an ultimate. Zem is actually just backing through here while XLY uses his own beacon. Zhao Huge getting an armor healed. That's not what they want. Lee's going to try to, XLY trying to revert and flank around the corner. And a Dragon War to boot. F3 shot to try to confirm silence and pushback. Zem still finding out a Soul Shatter Takeda, and you can see this is where Xiao Hu gets caught to F1 from the Wei Shan in order to push back that Dragon War. Xiao Hu gets a horizontal block extreme. Place your bets. Blue focus or neutral? Dragon War throwback. Now doesn't have enough meter to work it off. And the kill confirmed for J Team. This is huge. How many kills they have right now? 11. That's pretty good. Pretty good. They still have a Vermilion Birdsmite for another half minute or minute and a half. We're going back to Shadow Jade. Oh no, this is Sigma Mine or Gamma Mine, and as Zhang Yan has QGG in a spot where it could be for more benefit, he does have Force V2 proc as QGG has one more Fury Blast to kind of push this back. I'm curious to see who's gonna get out of here because Wei Shan loves to chase Takedas. Zhao Nan is also in the same boat, chasing out QGG. Finds a cannon shot of miracles to be had, and obviously that just comes down towards the position. But SS finds elimination off of JJH Godly, so I guess they assume they found him, and SS is killing off Moran as well, as what we can see. And Zhao Nan is actually going to look for the F3 shot, use the 3 seconds, gets the key. He's almost getting the kill. The F1's out here for QGG, though. As a Takeda, that's dangerous. Nice parry. Looks for the R&B pulse sword swing from CXZ is massive. Goes right back to the F3. Zhao Nan will take the time to kind of go for a scare rush and back off instead of engaging. This is a dangerous pulse sword game between the two, so they don't want to take any chances. NiHQ finds LMB, goes for R&B Clink, Stone Form for both of this, and a horizontal release. This gives a full elimination off of KLA as XCG cleans up those kills. 5 so far. J-Team had 12 kills, though, in the lead in terms of this lobby. And they're sitting in 3rd overall. GG is still in the game, but they have only one teammate. OUG found those eliminations against JJH back into the Golden Tortoise. 70.9 points. And then Zem dies out to the zone as a whole. Towards using Vermilion Birdsmite. And they got 6 eliminations as towards that. I want to see this Romy Yang fight, yeah. Because Sand Siphon versus the Cannonball. I'm not sure how Lee kind of got out here because he got ult out. Remember V1F? He actually goes for full launch. He doesn't hit anyone there. I saw that. But Zem has ultimate still. Pressures the Takeda to want to push here. This is where it's a half-face fight where you think you're low, but in reality, you are still, you know, call the ambulance, but not for me type situation. And then QG gets eliminated because of that. Because Zem was like, I'm bait, you know, I don't got ult. And just dies. And Focus Slide, this is where I was talking about the dual blades and Focus Slide. This keeps pressure onto the enemy. It's not like a full LMB from a pole sword, yeah, and the damage from a pole sword slide LMB is huge, but dual blades can keep pressure for your enemies. Or they can't, they're stuck in animation, they can't do anything about it. So it's huge value. It's huge value. But OUG and 521 are right next to one another. Xiaonan, this is the second roaming, by the way. XCG right next to the Draco Storm. BB might be wanting to make their way towards that, but J-Team uses the burn, uses their Vermilion Birdsmite in a smart, efficient manner. They use the zone to kill them off in order to find rotations towards a nearby Soul Altar, whether it's a team or rather for the Romy Yang. GG though finds a Reaper Charm, so LXM is able to get one of his teammates back. He needs to get the other one remaining from the Morse Blessing if necessary. He's got to hide it out though, because that Morse Blessing has BBE and others are just waiting this out. And GG 330 actually dies out, if I'm not mistaken. That could have been a Romy Yang depletion reason. Possibly. I'm assuming LXM was the second teammate to get rezzed, and then they got they got the remaining teammate to come up. And then FPX won their Romy Yang for free. Oh, it's a free Romy Yang for FPX. That's crazy. Mortal Defiance for WFZ though. Yeah, DRG coming in here with the pole sword, man. This is big. Remember, I don't know. Someone has a spear. Someone on the team has a spear. It might be the Temi. Let's take a look and see. OUG's SS is now repositioning with the Focus Slide and locking out WFZ from this position. In immediate ult cast to try to kill off with an Overcomer and Overlord. This is big. Big. R&B off the end. R&B release and use like, oh, I gotta go ults, man. I gotta go back to my team. Or SS, I should say. And Jing used the ultimate. WFZ is like, I'm just charging up this Overcomer and I'm catching you, the king. Another Fury and Blast to confirm, but the Temi of the Fairy Shen ult comes to play. They're trying to meter dump the heck out of her with blue focuses as fast as possible before her Kinemech form comes back, and then he's gonna look to overcome the king in the opposite direction than what the enemy team was kind of looking at. because some teams could see the 2-for-1 opportunity for the enemy, and then the enemy just goes ahead and just goes for the 1-for-0, or for 1-for-1. There it is. LMB. Moonlight's down, though. Phoenix Blast is coming in the clutch here. Oh, nice. Nice. I kind of wanted that to the upper position because you can see WFZ's like camera's going nuts so here. Hey, yo. This is it. F3. Avoids it. He actually, yeah, I saw that little hover. And he has another beacon drop ready to go. Oh, this is tough. He finds a 1 heal for vitality and he's gonna get 3 cannon shotted here if it's possible. Nice heal time. They're gonna kill for time though. Yeah, there's something he can do. He's gonna have to burn for time as DRG is just kind of holding this one out. Tough. But let's go back to that fight because I want to talk about the switch up this team's had. So like I said, right, WFZ sees a D-Mech, swishes out, whoosh, right? Comes out for the overcomer against the king as SS is in the mech. It avoids all pressure coming in from Jingyu. The fact of the matter is this: once Moonlight got eliminated here, I'm assuming because I saw that shot coming out here, right? He gets focused on tremendously, like big time, to the point where it's like there's nothing that can save Moonlight. And the Phoenix Blast makes it feel like it's all lost. SS or Wushen finds every bit of value off of this Dragon Light. And you can see F2 coming out from SS here as it pushes out Wushen. But this leaves WFZ Jingyu to actually get a level 2 pole sword swing because he can't go for the overcomer, which avoids, you know, delaying the amount of damage as possible, right? Goes for the focus slide. Going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Focus slide, focus slide, focus slide, focus slide. And Wushen catches his kill, but a Phoenix Blast coming in from nice. Phoenix Blast coming in from the king is you know, stuff. It's those jades, but it's also like it's a horizontal anyway, so or vertical anyway, so it would have catched him in the sense scenario. It's a little bit wider frame so for Phoenix Blast since it is a double hit. But in the meantime, Dongqing looks to kind of work his way towards the corner here. He's trying to make sure, you know, FPX, they won their Romiang, or actually, I think Romiang, not even Romiang, I think they won, no, they won the Morse. No, that's Romiang, because there was a Draco Storm in the overworld. And BBE were actually able to be able to pick that one up. And seeing, oh, wait, 521 has it? No, BBE has that buff, yeah, for the Draco Storm. And as it comes out here, we're going to see a focus coming out here. A casting ultimate from Yin against Pamp for his team, or rather, they get ulted by the enemy Tessa, as Ben was able to throw that out. And a safety netted ultimate from 521 there to kind of, you know, reposition. And they're really low. BB still has this pressure. They still got 45 seconds on their Draco Storm. An F3 from Pampy pushes back Roishishi as he gets caught out here. And Hepa Detach is being pushed onto Unique. And an F3 clean. And then you're going to see Roishishi looks to RMB and go towards Pampy. Oh, no. Yeah, it's gonna be tough because right then and there we're actually not gonna have a chance of seeing Pampy have issues because of that. Since the pressure from Roishishi did not go onto that Tessa, it wouldn't actually be much of a point to be of value. I mean, the thing is that let's go back. So Roishishi knows his teammate has Hepta, right? Like this is common. This is knowledge between him and his team, and that's case scenario. But the thing is that when this first Hepta happened, right, he committed towards the F3 and catching his teammate off. Like he's just making sure he can keep that fight onto that spot. But the only problem I'm having here is that when the second Hepta Detach connected, Yin did not get focused on that point. At that point, right, he RM'd into the direction towards Pampy, while Ben got a Tesla ultimate, yeah. But then once Yin was able to get out of that position that he was not likely to want to be in, an immediate ult cast. Tessa's, he knows that Pampy's ult's down, right? But it wasn't because of the ult, it was because what was being dealt to Ben. And Ben was kind of safe there. I'm not gonna lie. Like he had F1, he was good to go. But in the moment, I think Roishishi just thought, oh, he was not gonna be safe. And then still, it kind of cost him his life because he got caught in a chant and got switched off by Pampy. And then with the Unique kind of dropping in there. And Wuchen port not going to serve much value for BBE as they ported it towards the direction that 521 can see, and even with the Draco Storm, that gives them full value in going right back into this to this circle. So hopefully they kind of see, you know, I'm not sure how 521's going to be handling out surviving for much longer to the round, but they got a lot of kills to kind of work through for that. Or not 521, BBE. They have a lot of kills to kind of work off for that end, for that kill. But Immortal Defiance being picked up here by the King as he kind of goes out. We're going to see probably a little more stagnation. I'm not sure if anybody wants to take fights as of right yet. OUG, Jingyu, Blue Armor, F3. I think it's F3. I'm pretty sure it's F3. It should be like a little stamp. Wow, you know, but it's going to get removed in sometime in Season 12. I'm not sure as to when. But WFZ, DRG, they're looking to try to get rid of their Romy Yang depletion. They seem Team Bauda off of the ridgeline. They're going to push it. They're going to make sure they can try to capture them. I'm not sure what's going to happen between them and Bauda, but listen, if it happens, it happens. I mean, 2 minutes on the clock. Moonlight has V2. Wushin has ultimate. If they look for a third-party position, that's another different story. I didn't actually take a look and see if Wushin has V2 or V3 because I'm looking at the symbol. I'm not sure that's a shield or not. Let's take a listen. Let me see. Let me see that. I see. Okay, hold on. So SS preemptive F ability out here. Exen gets himself in a position where he doesn't get F2'd as he's kind of hoping for. He gets caught in here, right? Yeah. LMB comes through. Merciless Havoc and RMB off the fan. Tries to connect the chase off of SS. He tries to goes for a scare rush here. Gets immediate ultimate. And as SS kind of looks towards and chasing this one out, there's an ultimate from Jing. Jing has V2. Team Bauda. And then Wushin drops in here. I think that's V3. I seen DRG rock V3 before. No, wait, no. Where is he? Yeah, he's got V3. I don't know why he's got V3. I gotta be honest. Like the only reason I say that is because defensive measures with V2 kind of negates out the energy loss. But the problem is that he can't throw wisp balls past the enemy. It's wisp ball. I don't think so. I don't think Tomochi's wisp can go past other enemy Tomochi wisp. But even then, a 12-second ult duration, like WFZ, like the Temi is the main reason why the V2 or slash V1 is so much, you know, greater for the cause, because once you start having that Takeda push, you know, more time to your ultimate gives more time for your teammates to be saved inside of its position. Maybe not 100% outright, especially against, you know, wide range ults and skills, but we have to see how this ends up, because DRG's WFZ gets caught into this Dragon-like Might, clinks off of Wushin to kind of keep his teammate alive. 2v2 in the zone, but I think someone's invading here in just a moment. OUG is back in here. Yep. OUG has themselves to come into this position, cleans up Bauda, and they pick up those eliminations as counts to number 8. But the King lost SS. He's got Jingyu. The King, I'm not sure his Mortal Defiance procced yet. As we saw earlier, F3 to Sky might be losing his Mortal Defiance. He's got Ult Blast. He's locking it in. He gets caught into the burn, and that's going to be an actual Mortal Defiance proc, I think. Yeah. Tough. J-Team actually have around 13 eliminations into this game. They're actually dropping in here, but this is XOY gets caught into the midst of things, gets eliminated for this section. That's tough. That's actually really tough because they lose XOY, right? Not even XOY was able to get into his beacon. Yeah, that's tough. That's actually really tough. And the FPX finds capitalization off of this as Lee is like getting pushed back with Furin and Zem has a panic ult. You're going to see Xiao looks for a teleport to Zhangqing. Very nice. And they kind of regroup into the buildings and use that as to the cover. Zem, he's at 1400 HP. I think it might be focused out here from Dongqing, who's just making sure to get rid of this. Yeah. Yep. And that's going to be it. Zem gets eliminated as a result from that chase. Yeah, this is where Takeda has really just come out to shine, man. Like, they can go on ground units so much easier than what you might expect, and it's tough for ground units against Takeda. But, you know, GG finds a kill off of one of the J teammates. Or no, not the J teammates. They find some loot off of one of the bodies of OUG, Jingyu specifically. But J team leads in the zone. I don't know. GG is right next door. They can hear this grapple coming in. And that's going to be it, right? Yeah. Yep. Yepers. Lee goes down. This is actually where 13 eliminations, 4th place. This gives them at least a 1.3 multiplier, if I'm not mistaken. So J-Team should still be kind of still viable for 1st place. As long as either FPX doesn't get 11 eliminations. They should be good. But I think J Team is good for here for 4th place. If the kills are sporadic between the 2 remaining teams, between FBX, GG, and 521, this could be good. But Ballista Shot and the chase from Water, he's locking down towards Pampy's position. Pampy using V3 here to kind of put this position to good use. And as it comes out, V3 procs Water off of the Ballista. Water has a gold pole sword. This is kind of big. And he also has an advanced heal being proc. And Pampy, I don't know. I thought he was going to die in the zone, you know, because, you know, I don't know where Unique is. He's mad far, right? No, he's actually hiding in the building. Yeah, Pampy's going to heal this up. I'm not sure. Water can't aim. He can't hit that target. But if Pampy wants to invade Water, he can run up to him. Even to the extension of 521's Unique. And he's going to invest his Ballista shots and try to push this out. LXM is actually at a point where he could get eliminated. Dragon Wars back to back. 3-3-0 going to release this. CGS is going to use ultimate to push back. Dongqing gets his R&Bs off as a Dragon 4 coming out from the Zipping Ying. And CGS is like, yo, why is there so many Dragon Wars? And why is it between the supports? How did supports have that? CGS, though, is in a rough spot, though. I mean, he's catching Water, but he gets counteracted by Dongqing, and there's another teammate with the Dragon War that kind of gives him no harm, no foul for parries. Like, he can't even parry an attack because the Dragon War is going to be proccing the backline anyways. It's tough. And Water's going to focus out here. Look at CGS, man. He is so, like, I'm invested into this Kurumi. I want that Kurumi out. He's not going to have it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But there is Dongqing. Focus on scare rush position for CGS. Oof, nice kit on Water. Water actually can get killed here. No. No. That's crazy. One misstep there. And also, not to boot, but Ballista shots from Pampy to knock out CGS. Oh, man. That's crazy. Remember, Water has a advanced heal, so he can heal 750 armor / HP if he wants to at any point. It really just does come down towards his teammate Xiao Hu for sustain and for defense. That's tough. Really is tough. Xiao Hu gets himself caught out here to actually vest ultimate. I'm not sure if that's huge value because now Xiao Hu actually gets caught into a bow shot, I think, and repositions his ult for the last couple of seconds. Gets his full armor though. Focus light coming out from Water. CGS with the midair F1. Nice scare rush. Nice LMB. CGS looking to kind of reposition for a pulse sword charge. V3 comes out. Pampy finds a Hepta detach that we know Unique used to, not Unique, that would that BPE used to kind of invest in using, but horizontal spam coming out from Water and a Wu Chen port. This gives an attack buff, by the way, for this team, so they can kind of go right back into this fight because since Unique used a Wu Chen port early on and their HP bar not being below 1,000 or 80% of their HP, that they can just get an attack buff and just deal a little bit more damage. I think it's 15%, possibly, maybe. Gonna have to see that. But CGS is just gonna heal up here. It's really a fight between 2 to 1 to 1. If Water can come out here with snagging 3 eliminations, that's massive for their position change. But we see Xiao Hu gets eliminated from the lobby. His life went down. Water is still going to be focused on. If this is the case, this is what they need. Take out the timing before he has ultimate. A mid-dash F3 from Pampy, though, through the grapple. Hold checks the heck out of it. Get to Hepta. Almost gets caught in the V3 slide, or to the slide LMB. A Phantom step for CGS here is crucial, but it doesn't give him enough time. A nice, oh man, this is it. Wait, this is it. Oh, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. That's crazy. He's locked into animation, I guess. Nice chance for a berry bait, and that's going to be it for Water, baby. Wow. Unique kind of came out here on top. And it all came down to BBE not being able to, for BBE not being able to capitalize off of one target there. And it's crazy because we've seen them get lucky early on into the round where Roy Shishi focusing onto the Yodohime in the council courtyard. They got lucky because J-Team kind of backed through. Now that's luck, right? That one right there is luck. Where if J-Team shows up the third party and, you know, with their comp and some way, somehow they come back for a res off of Roy Shishi to turn the fight off of their opponents. And I'm like, yo, chill. But there's another opportunity there that we just saw, you know, into that fight where one opponent not getting focused on as much as you could can deter your whole position, especially if you're outbounds of reach. And then that's what happened. Roshishi looked to shadow step towards Pampy, but Pampy's ult is already done. And not only to that, his teammate Iben had F1 to kind of keep himself safe, to then use F1 to V1 to catch a tether if they can. Didn't happen. It's over, and that's the case scenario. But scores, we got to go over scores. J team in first place because they had fourth place elimination. They got the kill point values of 1.3, and they're gonna have 1.5 for rankings and 18.4 points for this day, for this round, I should say. 521 13.8, 13.7 for FPX. BB was 12.6, 12.3 for OUG. Another great game for them in terms of value overall because they're already at the top. Battle with 11.8, 8.7 for DRG, XCG at 6, 5.9 for GG, JJH at 4, 2 for WBG, and a 0.5 for placement for KLA. And then the MVPs come out here between the three of the teammates. And you're actually going to see like the amount of damage isn't as crucial as you might think. But I mean, the Cannonball comp worked out. Or WBG came in for a third party, right? Yeah, WBG came in for a third party. Not J team. J team was fighting. And then they dipped out. And then WBG took the price for that. That's what it was. It wasn't WBG third partying. Or J team going through there. But Zem, MVP, first one of the season. He's going to have around 12k damage. Pulse Sword, Ultimate, Staff. That's the damage, top 3 weapons and whatnot. And it's 11 kill participation with 5 kills towards himself with 6 assists. And the Skyforce and a Heartstopper kick is kind of massive. But he didn't even use those. He didn't even use a spear. He just used a staff. Focus slide, though, with the Pulse Sword was what he came down towards. And with that, that will be the end of round 4. We'll be going ahead into round 5 and 6 in just a moment. And then with that, we'll be going through. My name is Severio. Caster, if you guys have any feedback as well for any sort of, you know, ideas in terms of, oh, maybe we should do this, try this, or, you know, add lines, add lines, like, you know, make like, you know, directions and everything so we can see, because everything is fuzzy on the stream, or rather, everything's fuzzy on the video. Let me know, and then I'll continue kind of working off of that end for you guys to have that kind of momentum. But with that, I'll see you guys into the next part right now.